Welcome to the Colin with the Boys podcast, where we bring you new content creators every week. We are your hosts, Asen and Nathan. This is episode 41, titled Get On Up, with special guest Jason, aka MasterSitak, coming back for a second episode. We talk about his inspirational rise in the gaming industry and all the stuff he's been up to. So sit back, relax, and open a cold one.
I just wanna crack that door with that boys,
No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for licking, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, let my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping in gold called the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro. Brotherhood worth more than a
Here we are, back with Jason of all trades, MasterSitak.
What's up?
Wasn't that the
What's that?
wasn't that the name of the episode of the first one? Jason of all trades.
Yeah, that's why I said it, Nathan. Jesus.
Oh, my bad. Come on now,
Come on, man.
coming at me like
Come
that.
on. Why you got to do that, man? Why can't you just go with it, you know?
I did. I went with it.
I miss you guys. You guys are hilarious. I love you guys.
Love you too, man. All right. Well, I mean, if we didn't talk about it last time enough of how involved you are with everything, we have a whole new shit pile mountain of stuff we can add on top.
Pile Mountain.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything else to say. But
I mean, you could have said a gold.
Yeah,
Coin
a gold,
Mountain.
gold
mine,
coin.
dude.
Sorry. It's not shit. Yeah.
It's a gold mine.
Gold mine mountain of just extra stuff that you do now.
Oh man, I like keeping myself busy. You guys know that.
Yes, I do know that.
So, I think I told you on Discord before the podcast, but yeah, right now what I'm doing is I'm still working as an influencer manager. I'm also working with DreamHack, as you guys know. I'm also doing some stuff with a university called ETS, which is in French it's called École Technique Supérieure. It's an engineering school that they host. They host one of the largest LAN parties in Northeast America.
Nice.
So I'm helping them out with some of their casters for like casters absorbers for matches, streamers. I'm gonna help them set up a streamer zone and a few other things that I'm helping them out with. And yes, and I also started my own esports team. Last episode I was with Contraband Gaming.
Yeah.
And it was with somebody. Her name was Courtney. She's amazing. I just wasn't streaming as much because of all the stuff that I was doing, so I was let go from the team. And then I met I've known these guys for a while now, and they're like, well, would you mind helping us out with our team? And so yeah, right now I'm the director of marketing and partner relations for Team Livid, on top of all the other stuff that you guys know that I do. So
Oh yeah, dude, that's what's up.
yeah.
it's busy. It's busy.
How dare they let go of the great Jason?
Hey man, I didn't meet the requirement. I had to go.
Yeah, I
and
got
I'm
it.
okay with that.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with that.
yeah.
And I told Courtney that I'm like, listen, I'm not streaming as much. If you gotta let me go from the team to make room for someone, do it. Like, no hard feelings, no bad blood.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know Courtney. I played CS:GO with you, Courtney, and one of your new caster, or one of the new casters, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's small world. Apparently, okay. So, just a few weeks ago was TwitchCon. 2 weeks, right? Week and a half.
Yeah.
something like
Weeks,
that.
yeah.
So I didn't know, like, okay, so obviously we follow you on Twitter. I didn't know how many people you knew that we knew, apparently. Like, you showed up in every single
Everyone.
picture, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, for example, I know you knew Asian Invasion 10.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know you guys hung out there. And then I'm just looking through his pictures, and I just see you in the background of this party, like in the back. I'm like, oh, there's Jason. He's there. It's like, where's Waldo? Just trying to fucking find you. And then Chaotic Ashley. We saw you in a picture with her, and we're like, how does he know Ashley? Like, we've never even talked about Ashley. And you just have her.
Oh, you guys know Ashley?
Yeah. We know Ashley.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know everybody.
I've known her for a while. Well, she's like a mod for a bunch of other people. She's a mod for Stevie, Cheese, and Keontae, I believe.
Nice.
So I know her pretty well. But yeah, dude, I've been in this for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just had an episode about TwitchCon, but I want to get your kind of view on how TwitchCon was this year compared to other years.
So, geez, you guys haven't been to TwitchCon yet, have you?
Unfortunately.
No. Okay, for me, and everyone's opinion is valid. Everyone's opinion is the truth. But for me, to be completely honest, I was slightly disappointed in the expo floor. There weren't as many expo partners that I was hoping for as they had last year. The expo hall wasn't bigger or smaller. It was sectioned off in a different way, which made the whole entire place seem smaller. But there's huge partners that were not there. MSI wasn't there. Asus ROG wasn't there. Logitech had a small area within like the blue microphone booth kind of thing. Business wise, it was rough. A lot of that kind of business was done elsewhere. It was either done like at a coffee shop or it was done inside the hotel that was across from the convention center for companies that didn't have a booth but had representatives. So it's kind of it was I guess it was a bit more professional doing it that way, but the presence wasn't known or the presence wasn't noticed on the expo floor.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a venue issue? Like, was the venue bad, or was it that just people didn't get in time, or what was the deal with that?
And this is again my opinion. I just think that it was not the venue itself, but the location, like the city. It wasn't as appealing, I guess, to a bunch of other people because a lot of partners, a lot of streamers, a lot of community members didn't come to this one specifically because it was in San Jose.
What do they have against San Jose? Is that a bad part of town, or?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's just because the first year was at San Diego, I believe. I didn't go to the first one. And the next few were around the nicer parts of California. Right. Last year being at Long Beach, so people I guess people made it more of a trip of it afterwards. They stayed like a full week instead of just a couple of days. San Jose was nice. I honestly think it was nice. At night, after the convention, we get some dinner. We'd go to the we'd go downtown, or we go to, what was it called? I think it was called St. Pedro's Market, and it's just bars and clubs like lined up as far as the eye could see, kind of thing, and it was nice.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So one thing I brought up to the APM streamers last episode, and what I'll bring up now, why haven't they done it in LA yet? Do you have any idea why they don't just do it in like Anaheim at the Civic Center? I think that'd be a great spot.
Pricing maybe?
Probably.
But then again,
it's Twitch.
Being devil's advocate, I'm playing both sides. They rented out a football or soccer stadium. I'm not sure if it was. I feel like it was a college football stadium, or it could have been a college soccer stadium. But they rented it out for the Twitch after party, which was Christ Sounds and Diplo. They had a concert live on the field.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I heard that was pretty baller.
It was pretty dope.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, so right now we're definitely planning for TwitchCon 2019. We don't know where we'll be, obviously, but hopefully it's a good spot. Hopefully we have a good time. But I've heard kind of the same thing, that as far as the people that went, apparently this year was like the best because just the attendance of people. But as far as like, I heard the lines were really bad on the first day.
Yeah. So luckily I was able to skip those because I was part of the I was with the expo partners.
Mhm.
I had meetings with them and I had a pass that allowed me to go through. It was not, I don't know how to explain this properly. It's the queue lines outside the convention center. So the convention center was not equipped for the capacity of people waiting outside.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they had to manually make the lines going around the block kind of thing. Whereas last year at I think it was called the Long Beach Performing Arts Center, the queue lines, it was, they're accustomed to it, right? So the queue lines were already set up and everything like
Right.
that outside, and they had like extended areas already set up if need be. But this convention center, the entrance itself, the queue lines were kind of short kind of thing, so they would have to extend it a couple of blocks. But it was only bad the first day where everyone was getting there. Some people were probably in the wrong line, some people were probably in the right line but wasn't sure where to go next kind of thing because they had to get their pass before going inside. Some people already had their passes but they weren't sure where to queue up kind of thing. So it's just it's stuff that happens for events, and again, they should have been able to read that and say, okay, well, it's going to be packed. We already sold out. We should get ready for the big crowd that's happening.
Yeah.
Just like for us, for DreamHack, whenever we have look at our ticket sales this year, at the Olympic Stadium, we sold out. So we had to hire police outside to help us out with the queues and making sure that nobody, does anything silly outside, because we had like security inside and we had staff doing the queue lines inside, but once it goes outside public property, that's when we had to hire the cops. Like they had, again, Twitch did an amazing job with that. We all felt safe. Security guards inside and outside checking bags, cops on the street as well, wherever the queue line was extended, they always had an officer there, so they did a good job. It's just that the sheer amount of people coming at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was saying, you have to predict that and prevent that, but at the same time, it's really hard to do that. If you have thousands, I think it was, I don't know, something that 20 to 30,000 people that morning. Same thing for us with DreamHack, like the 30 to 40,000 people that are lined up that morning for the tournaments. Even if we have the queue lines, even have the cops, we were overwhelmed,
right?
And it happens.
Yeah. I mean, that one maybe is on venue, but they should have kind of seen it coming. So you're right in that sense. But I don't know. Hopefully next year is better. We plan to actually, right now at least, we're gonna hold to it. We plan to get like a house, like an Airbnb house, near wherever TwitchCon is, and
have our own little 8 p.m. party, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely suggest doing that. That's what I did the first year with Tin, and that's how I met pretty much everyone that I've known for years, and it was such a good weekend because of it. This year, because I was there for work, I had a hotel room right, like I'd say about a 5-minute Uber ride, about a 20-minute walk from the convention center, and it was so hard to meet up with people because I wasn't in the same place, know?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, and that's what we plan to do. So hopefully that all turns out good. But anyway, so we were talking about DreamHack a little bit. So that kind of ties in with the trip you made to Europe, I believe, because that was that with DreamHack?
That was with WeHype.
That was with WeHype. Okay. So
I didn't talk about the Euro trip. Oh man, that was amazing.
yeah. So we have a lot to go
catch
through here.
On.
So let's do DreamHack first. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't talk about DreamHack. DreamHack was the first time this year that we did the event. We hosted the event at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. And I'll send you guys a picture. Well, it's the Twitter header, Twitter banner for me right now, and it is huge. It was insane. We walked in there, dude. We walked in there the first day, which was Sunday night, midnight, so like Monday morning, if that makes sense. So like Monday midnight kind of thing. That's when we got the keys to the place, and they're like, okay, this hall is like this area is yours. Do what you need to do. I walked in there, man. I'm like, holy hell, we have to fill this place up with them. By the time we set up everything, so usually we do it at a place called Place Bonaventure. It's in downtown Montreal. This was a bit further away from downtown Montreal, but it's a lot bigger, obviously.
Mhm.
And at Place Bonaventure, we had 3 stages. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we only had 3 stages. We had one dedicated for StarCraft, we had one dedicated for CSGO, and then one dedicated for the BYOC tournaments. This year at the Olympic Stadium, we had, I think, 10.
Holy crap.
Wow.
We had 10. No, we definitely had 10. Rainbow Six, like these are all pro teams. Rainbow Six, StarCraft, Hearthstone, CSGO, and then we had 3 stages for FGC. Bell had their own stage. Omen by HP had their own stage. MSI had their own stage.
Wow.
And then there was 2 stages for the BYC tournaments.
Damn.
So,
What's FGC? Just so, because I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, sorry. FGC Fighting Game Community.
Oh, okay. All right. So like they
Yeah.
have like Smash and Tekken and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Street Fighter, dude.
Smash, Tekken, Street Fighter, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. So DreamHack, is that more of a tournament based type thing? Like I've never been to any of these cons, so I don't know what all they do, but is DreamHack more tournaments? People are there to compete, or is it kind of similar to a Twitch con where it's broadcasters networking and things like that?
It's a bit of both, actually. So just a bit of background on DreamHack. So DreamHack was originally started in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world's largest digital festival, not just gaming or anything like that. It's just the world's largest digital festival.
Nice.
So we had, for our opening ceremony, we had local talent, local DJs on stage setting up. And as you can see in my banner on Twitter, like you look at it and it's amazing. It just, dude, I'm blown away with the picture that my buddy took.
I'm actually looking at it right now. That's pretty legit.
Yeah. So that's one stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the stage to the left where my profile picture is. And then there's one to the right of it. There's 4 or 5 down there. And then there's 2 all the way at the down on that corner. And then 1 right in the middle.
That's wild looking.
I'll send you guys a picture so you
crazy.
can toss it up in the notes. But yeah, so they have tournaments, professional tournaments for all these games. And on top of that, they have a huge expo floor, as you can see. So people can network. If you're a streamer, you're there to either watch the competition, or if you want to network, there's a lot of opportunities to talk to potential partners, sponsors, kind of thing, as well as the streamer zone that you can't really see, but it's near the last stage on the top left. That's where I had my area.
Right.
Working with CLX, working with Razer, working with Elgato, we set up the booth so that invited streamers can come in and broadcast. So that way, if they're flying out from Atlanta, if they're flying out from Sweden, if they're flying out from Germany to come to DreamHack Montreal, they don't lose they don't lose time from streaming.
Right.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking intense, man. That is actually a freaking insane picture.
Looks like a big ass rave
Man.
music festival.
Let me tell you guys something. Okay, so how many kilometers? So I wasn't wearing my smartwatch. I think my buddy had his Fitbit on, and it was the equivalent. I'm trying to put this in miles for you guys.
Yeah, because I have no idea what kilometers are.
So it's okay. So I walk the equivalent of 200 miles, 212 miles
Holy crap.
Whoa.
in the span of 4.5 days.
Fuck that.
Jesus.
And then because of how big the place was, and because of doing back and forth, setting up stages, setting up this, setting up that, bringing this over here, going to one place to the other to talk to someone, coming back, kind of thing. I actually, at the end of the weekend, I actually fucked up my leg. Like I had a stress fracture, is what they're calling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty bad.
So, yeah, dude, I was in so much pain the last day and a half that Hillary, one of my friends that was also working the event, she was like, okay, sit your ass down. Let me go get you an ice pack. Stop moving. And me being prideful, I'm like, no, we only have a few more hours left today, and then we have tomorrow, then we're good. So I kept going, and teardown comes where it was Monday morning where we have to put everything back in the trucks and everything like that.
Right.
And I don't know what it was. I sat down for like a minute and I got back up. Dude, the pain went from like the bottom of my foot all the way up to my ass kind of thing. And I'm like, yo, I can't. Like, that was too painful. It felt like somebody shot me from like my foot to my. I was like, yo, I'm done.
So did you get
at that point, you're just like, all right, give me a wheelchair. I'm gonna keep going.
No, I literally, after that, I'm like, okay. I sat down. I did like as much as I could sitting down. And dinner time comes around. I'm like, I'm just gonna get my train ticket like right now and head out. Like, I need to go see a doctor. Like,
So did you get a stress fracture in your foot? Was it in your foot?
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
What's that?
I said, was it in your foot, the fracture?
Yeah, it was around my ankle.
Oh, damn.
Around my ankle and my heel. And thankfully, I don't know if you saw my Twitter post about that. I got back. First thing I did was I went to a walk-in clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Walked in there. I think it was about a 20-minute wait for the first doctor to do the assessment. Second doctor comes in saying you need x-rays. She sends me to the x-ray place. That's an hour and a half goes by.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees the prelim results. She's like, yeah, it's a stress fracture. Do this. Here's this if you need it for pain. And then I'm on my way. So like 2 hours and I was good to go. Until I got the full results kind of thing. Healthcare system. Canada. Rock on.
There it is.
We're moving to Canada, dude.
So yeah, that was I think I was talking to you right after that happened because I remember you mentioning the fracture and everything about coming on at some point, and here we are. But
yeah, I think I said, I'm like, yeah, let me recover from this.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, let me recover first. But yeah, dude, so DreamHack, that's insane. I'd like to go to one of those as well. I want to go to Seattle, right? I'm in Seattle currently, but I'm actually going to be making a move soon. So, DreamHack is definitely one thing I want to do because I've always wanted to go to like an esports arena and watch esports live just to see how it is because I'm sure it's way more hype than sitting at home watching it.
Dude, it is. 100% it is. If you guys are thinking about coming to Montreal, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Montreal. All right, man.
Montreal.
So the other trip, I thought this was since you went to Sweden, that's why I was assuming DreamHack because I know DreamHack Sweden. But so that was with WeHype. So what was the trip all about? Like, what did you get to do on that trip?
So the first part of the trip was in Sweden. I was there for I was only there for 4 days, and I met the team. I met the co-founders. So pretty much just meeting the team, looking at the area, the city that I'd be staying in when I eventually get my work visa, which I'm a bit upset about because it's taken forever.
Mm-hmm.
Carrying on. So I met the team. They showed me the office. They showed me, the investors and stuff like that. And DreamHack is one of their biggest clients as well.
Okay.
And it was pretty much it. It was pretty much, meeting the team and seeing how it all started and why it all started. And pretty much, by gamers for gamers,
Yeah.
And at the end of each day, whenever we're done work or during lunch breaks, we have like a huge setup by ROG, like headset, keyboard, desktop monitor, like literally everything. And we all game right after or during lunch or something like that. PUBG, Fortnite, whatever you want to play, CS:GO.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
That sounds awesome. I'm jealous.
Oh, dude, if I ever end up moving there, because of complications right now, I'm not sure what's happening, but I definitely invite you guys to come see the office.
Hell yeah. So that's in Sweden, right?
Yeah. So that was the first leg of the trip. The second leg of the trip was I was going to Gamescom in Germany, which is the world's largest gaming expo. And I was super overwhelmed. So pretty much think about PAX East. You know that video you guys saw that I made of PAX East, just like sea of people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times like 30.
Holy shit.
Okay,
Wow.
maybe I'm over exaggerating, but like maybe like times like 20 or something.
Good
But
lord.
dude, and it's not just one building at the convention center. The convention center or the convention area is multiple buildings. I'm not too sure how many. And then they have one section that's just for business. So if you have appointments, instead of doing the meetings at the booth, it's separate offices within the convention center that's separated, and you can only have access if you're an expo partner or if you're a trade visitor kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other section is where everyone's there. So all the streamers, all the gamers, all the general admission, like it was packed, dude. I met up with one of my buddies, Hockey Kinger. He's actually from Atlanta, but he's stationed in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to take leave. He's in the military. He was able to take leave to come to Cologne to hang out. And I'm pretty sure like every time we'd want to hang out, it's like, oh, like my friends are doing this. You want to hang out? I'm like, sure. Let's like grab food outside the convention area. There's too many people here.
Right.
Or I'd like sit down with just like a bottle of Coke in my hand, just like chilling. I'm like, dude, we need another epidemic. There's way too many people here.
We need another Black Plague.
Yeah. Thin the herd a little bit.
Isn't Gamescom the thing, Nathan, that like Blizzard announces some stuff at Gamescom every year?
I know they have a booth there every year, but I think they announced Legion at Gamescom a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's what it was.
A super shocker because they always saved expansion announcements for BlizzCon, and the fact that they announced it at a Gamescom blew my mind. I didn't know at the time that was like the world's largest gaming expo. So whenever they announced it there, I was super shocked. I was like, what? You would think this is something they'd save for, their own con, but they didn't. So, I mean, it makes sense. More people probably heard about it releasing it at Gamescom than they did at BlizzCon, but it's pretty shocking.
Gamescom is definitely something you guys should do at least once. I'm not sure if I'll be going again with work, because we had a lot of meetings, but there's also a lot of downtime.
Mm-hmm.
So they might reallocate that budget for something else. But definitely go there at least once, because Cologne, Germany is a really nice city.
Yeah. I've been to Germany before. I've never been to Cologne, but it's definitely something to look into for sure. Do you find that when you were there, did you find that most people spoke English, or was it just like a melting pot of you kind of try to communicate the best you can?
Oh, good grief.
So you got to keep in mind, I don't know if I told you guys, this was my first trip in Europe. Like I've never been to Europe because I was, you guys know, like I'm a grinder. So when I was in university, I'd work my summer so I can pay off my school.
Right.
There's never vacation time for me. So going to Europe, going to Sweden and Germany, that one trip was amazing. I was just blown away. But Germany though, there's a lot of places they spoke English, obviously, because it's a touristy area. Some places they spoke a bit less or none at all.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to one of the parties. Can't remember who was hosting it. I think it was a company called Pocket Gamers. They're a publisher studio for mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And for this party, so we showed up late unintentionally because we had a few things to do, finish signing contracts, yada, 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 back at the hotel room for some clients we just signed. And like, okay, let's go to the party. And because we showed up late, we didn't get these drink coupons or drink tokens or whatever they're called. And like, okay, that's fine. We didn't get drink tokens. That's fine. That's usually like, 2 or 3, whatever. And we go inside. They're like, no, you can't pay cash, strictly drink tokens.
What the fuck?
Where the hell did you get these drink tokens? So I'm literally going bar per bar, asking people, like asking the bartenders and asking the staff, and those staff members, they spoke English, but they just didn't know. They just didn't know where to get the drink tokens because it was a private event, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went downstairs to the bar in the basement, which was a bit less packed.
Uh-huh.
But the bartender there, she didn't speak English at all. So I'm like, oh god. So I was trying. I learned a bit of German, but like I was like, I'm butchering these words, and she's like, not laughing at me, but she's smiling because she knows I'm trying.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't speak German, and she couldn't speak English. And so I was like, okay, I'm like, drink. I took a coin. I'm like, drink, and I pointed at the coin, and then she pointed to where the coat check was, and I'm like, no, like, because I'm thinking like, okay, like she thinks I want to check in my jacket, or
Right,
I don't know, like I just language barrier kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she was trying to explain it to me the same way, kind of thing, like just very very little words, but more like object stuff and pointing, to the point where she literally walked around the bar, grabbed me by the hand and dragged me to the and dragged me to the coat check, and she was like to the right of the coach. She was like pointing to the right of the coat check where they were actually selling the drink tokens. I'm like, oh, this you said this at first. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And she started laughing and went back to the bar. And then like every time I went back, even though I had the drink tokens, I always tip her. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I'm a fucking idiot. Like you played for the first time. I'm so sorry for wasting your time, because she could have been at the bar, making tips or whatever from the people getting drinks and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I'd always like tip her like a decent amount every time, even though I had the drink tokens. To the point where she like started giving us like free rounds. I'm like, oh sweet.
That's how you do it, dude. Anytime you go to the bar, you always tip them, and you just keep tipping them, and eventually they just start giving you free drinks. That's what I've noticed.
So in Europe, people are saying that they don't tip that much. They don't.
Yeah, I doubt
Like,
it.
Yeah, it's not common at all in Europe.
It's not common.
Dirty
Okay.
Europeans, dude.
Wow, dude, I'm a dirty European. Come on now.
I know, that's why I said that.
No, it's
Gotta
it's just not common. It's just expected of you and your job, and you get paid the amount, for doing the job, even though in some places it's still not enough. So I don't know. It's just not common. I'm not sure why, to be honest.
So like, as I usually like up here, it's usually 15 to 25% depending on the service, right?
Right.
Like if it was good service, obviously 25. It was like okay, 20, and then you still tip 15. Like even though it was rough,
even though you hated the waitress. Yeah.
Well, it's
That's where you dine
for
or
us
dash,
anyways.
dude.
For us up here, anyways, they get paid less than minimum wage,
That's the same here.
so they make all their money in tips. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how I am. Anytime we go to a restaurant, like I've been out at restaurants a lot, and it's been bad service, and the people are like, "Oh, I'm not tipping." They didn't refill my water, or they didn't bring me the napkins when I asked for them. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking
it's like
job.
the petty stuff. Come on now.
Yeah, regardless of how the service was, I always tip 15%, and most of the time, like I don't want to brag or anything, but like I always try and tip
Bragging, dude.
25-30%. I like to take care of the people that took care of me, and I'd like to think that if I was in that same situation, people would help me too. So I don't know. I'm not a European.
I'm European, so obviously I wouldn't help you because I don't tip.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I
This
definitely
is
tip.
a roast, not a podcast.
Yeah, this is a roast. This turned into a roast. But yeah. One thing I don't know if you noticed, or if you even went clubbing at all, or went to any clubs.
In Germany?
Yeah.
Oof.
Because
Dude, I got some bad things, man, to say about that.
bad things. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't experienced German clubs, so I'm not sure, and it might have just been the place you were at. But in general, any club that I've ever gone to in Europe, in general, it was like most of the ones I went to were in Bulgaria, so I guess I'm biased there. But in that sense, Europeans know how to do a club. Here, any club I've ever gone to in the States I don't want to be there.
See, I don't know if I can agree with you or not, because I wasn't even let into some clubs because of my skin tone.
What?
That's all I
wow.
can say about that.
That's a little different.
And I was
definitely
like,
different.
really? This is like the bouncer didn't let me in. I'm like, this is an event hosted by. I'm not gonna outs the company. I'm like, it's an event hosted by the company. Like, I'm part of WeHype. I'm part of this company. We're all going in because we were invited to this event. It's like, no, you don't look like you belong here. I'm like, oof.
Oh,
I'm like,
what
listen
the
here, you little
fuck,
shit.
dude?
Wow.
I mean, this guy's like taller than me and more jacked. So I was like, okay, I didn't say. I was like, listen here, you little shit. I was just like, ooh, all right.
Later.
later.
But no, then the boys from WeHype, you know, they're Swedish, they're Viking size. They're like, what? And they lost their shit. I'm like, boys, like, chill, it's okay. I literally said, I'm like, this club is a bit racist. Let's go find another club. And everyone in line just looks at me like, oof, that was a bit loud, wasn't it?
Oof, that was a bit loud.
And I just walked away.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I haven't experienced any of that. Obviously, I mean, like I have like way in my background Middle Eastern qualities, but not, you know, it doesn't show in my skin tone.
But we were also in like a very small townish part of Germany. We were in Dusseldorf.
Okay.
Holy shit, that name, dude. Dusseldorf. Fuck. That just sounds like a racist place. Like, you know, not to like be shitty. That just sounds
Shitty on the
bad.
whole city, dude.
Dusseldorf. It sounds like something out of Harry Potter. That's for sure.
Oh, man. But, you know, other than that, Germany was nice. It was awesome to hang out with the WeHype team. We also spent 3 days after Gamescom there.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of chilling, doing like team bonding. We went to a few. It wasn't obviously it wasn't Oktoberfest because this was in August, but it was a beer festival,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all along the water, so it was beautiful. We went to that for 2 of the days, and then the third day we just went to an outdoor concert that was also part of the beer festival. It was like down the road kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a huge stage, DJ playing some electronic music, and they're like mixing with some throwback. I was just jamming and having a good time.
Hell
I
yeah.
gotta be honest, I immediately imagine like Rammstein, just like doing some German like hardcore music.
Oh man, no, it was a fun time. It was a fun time, and I think Then the week after, so I got back from Germany. Germany. I got back here. I think August 29th or something like that. End of August. A few days later, I had to drive down to New York because my good friend is getting married in New York, and
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a few days after that, I had to make my way to Montreal to start setting up DreamHack. Dude, August was a shit show. I was so tired, man.
Dude, that's all I saw on your Twitter was just pictures of you going from place to place. I was like, this motherfucker's living the life, just traveling.
Yo, I am. I will brag, man. I am.
And then
but it took a long time to get here. Like, I've been on the Twitch grind. Like, I haven't been streaming on Twitch that long. I've been streaming since 2015, but I've been part of the community since 2013. And at like ever since early 2014, like my end goal is to get to leave my shitty job and work in the gaming industry. And it took until like April of this year until it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But
dude, it all pays off though.
It all pays off, man. It all pays off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Dude, okay, so earlier what you said when we first started the podcast,
yeah,
I don't know which documentary it was. I think it's like the game, like beginning of gaming documentary. Maybe it was a Smash documentary. I'm not sure which one it was, but there was this Polish guy that he's like the one that designed Evo, like it's like DreamHack. It's like an esports convention.
Oh yeah,
Evo.
yeah,
You've heard of them. It's only for fighting games. That's what they do at Evo. It like talked about that guy's life. He's Polish and he started out just like this, like grinding, and then that last scene in the documentary shows him exactly what you explained walking into DreamHack, where you walk into the stadium, it's completely empty, and he's just like looking around at the seats and the empty field, and he's like, all right, like
let's get the fuck
it's all in his head, let's get to work, let's set this thing up and let's do it. And I was just
That's
like, damn, dude,
like, when I walked into the stadium, I'm like, all right, I looked at it, I'm like, holy shit, but let's do it.
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, damn, dude, that's legit. And I hope, and you probably do, but I hope that you have like aspirations to even like one day make your own convention.
Oh,
yourself.
dude.
How fucking wild would that be?
That would be wild.
I told you not to discuss the Discord DMs on the podcast. I'm gonna get my lawyer on this. No,
I told you not to talk about.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, my aspiration of all this is like, and it's sort of a weird word to say, serial entrepreneur. But I've
Mhm.
always like, even with some of the money that I'm making right now with WeHype, or some of the money that I made with DreamHack, I reinvested either in myself or in others to help them get to where they want to be. So that way, whenever I have a business proposal, it's like, hey, are you guys interested? We've worked together on this, or I helped you do this. Like, would you be interested in doing X, Y, Z?
Right.
And
Yeah.
one of the projects, like you said, is actually, well, first off, I want to try and get my podcast up and running because that's going to take forever because I don't have free time.
Yeah.
But I do want to have my own expo and my own esports event. Maybe have like a mix of the two, kind of like DreamHack
That'd
Yeah,
be
at some point.
legit.
At some point.
Yeah.
So
that's-
you're co-founder or co-owner of Team Livin'?
Yeah.
And what do you guys have teams for? What esports? Like what games?
So let me pull up the Discord because we just picked up 2 more teams this week. We picked up a team for Rainbow Six
Nice,
that placed 3rd in Canadian Nationals. We signed them.
nice.
nice.
We have an Overwatch team. We have a Fortnite team.
Fortnite, come on.
Yeah. Well, we have PUBG. We have PUBG as well. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Okay.
We have Hearthstone and Black Ops.
Nice.
And we also have what we call, so at first, and this was not intentional. At first we had this thing called the CS:GO Academy or Live It Academy.
Mhm.
So they're part of our team. They get the same sponsors, they get the same gear as all of our players do, but this is like our farm team, just like in the NFL or NHL, where they have a
Right.
farm team. They can
Mhm.
pick players there. It just so happened that all of our academy ended up being female players. So we just kept the name, but right now it's strictly female players for that team.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I
And
know-
they placed actually 3rd at the Canadian finals for WESG in Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole female CS:GO league in there, like just strictly females.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do is trying to get them, train them to the point where they can compete at that level.
Don't ever let me play with any of them on CS:GO because, like, I'm
that's
bad
awesome.
enough. Yeah, I don't need to have e-girls whooping my ass at CS:GO. I probably would never turn my computer on again. That'd be bad.
So we have
That's the way to-
actually one of them that also plays on the PUBG team, Rocket,
Uh-huh.
and she actually got invited to a tournament, a solo tournament in. Sorry, I gotta find the name for it. I posted it. I can't remember the city of it, but it's in China. She got invited to play at the Zowie Invitational in China,
Nice.
happening in December. So I think myself and the other co-founder are actually going to go to China for that event.
Dude, that's
I'm
I'm
badass.
not too sure yet. I'm not too sure how, like, what they're covering. I think they're only covering one co-founder and the player, but regardless, we're all going, so we're all going to use company or team funds to go. And
That's legit.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge news.
Oh yeah, man. Where's your Rocket League team?
Oh, shut up with that Rocket League shit, dude.
Honestly, I was thinking about it too. I'm like, Aisen's gonna say Rocket League. Should I say that Rocket League team when you don't?
Just to make him feel good, yeah.
That's like one of the only esports I watch these days. Oh
But to be
man.
completely honest, man, we only pick up teams that we have full confidence that'll do well.
Yeah.
And it's like,
People
it's
care to
not
watch.
cocky or anything, but it's like we want our sponsors to be well represented, so we want to pick up players that are going to be able to not to prove themselves, but to showcase themselves properly at events, right? So they can showcase
Right.
their sponsors properly, and give them more screen time, give them more, just more promotion throughout the tournaments. And that's what we have so far with the Counter-Strike team. They're amazing. Our Counter-Strike team actually came up to us saying, hey, we're not sure if you have a Counter-Strike team, but we definitely like to be part of Livid. And they're like a group of 5 already. Like, sweet, we don't have to go and find people individually, like Opper,
There you
like
go, dude.
IGL, like Entry Fragger. they have a team. We brought them on board. Right now, they're playing in the ESEA Advanced League, and they're 8-0-2. Yeah, 8-0-2.
Oh, wow.
And they
That's pretty good.
last night they played against Summit 1G's team, and they fucking steamrolled them. I'm sorry,
Mythic?
Summit.
Does he play for Mythic still or no?
It's his own team. Like the team owner
okay.
it said him. Although I don't think he was playing. He was on the list as substitute, but he wasn't playing. But his team was playing up against ours, and
They got rolled, huh?
they got rolled 16-7.
Damn.
Damn.
What map was it on?
Cash.
Oh shit, dude.
It's my least favorite maps, but
Yeah.
They got it done.
That's awesome.
Do you guys have you guys talked about like Black Ops 4 at all as an esport?
yeah, we actually we're looking for players right now for Black Ops.
Nice.
Is it just for the battle royale or like?
No, for both, for battle
For
royale
both.
and for competitive play. But we're not too sure what Activision's trying to do with it right now. If they're going to do
Mhm.
fives, because I think they brought back fives for this one, or
Yeah.
if they're doing fours. So we're looking to
They-
see.
Right now it's 6, I believe, 6 players per team.
Oh, is it
I don't-
6v6?
I don't think for
Yeah.
competitive play they shrink it down though.
That's the
They
thing.
probably do.
For competitive play, we're not sure if it's 5 or 4 yet. So
Yeah.
once we find that out, then we'll scout for more players.
Nice. I'm ready for competitive
Awesome, man.
play to come out. I'm tired of playing in this random thrown together lobby of the same sort of
Of
Level.
misfits, like
Jesus Christ, dude. It's bad.
so earlier I know we touched on Jerry. So is Jerry still with Team Livid?
yes, he's one of the team managers. And
Okay.
he's also casting. A little self promo for Jerry. I think you guys interviewed him as well.
We actually had it scheduled and like it never worked out on getting it all scheduled and done, but I'll message him again, see if we can get something scheduled this time around.
Because I helped
but
him
we just
get
never got
some
around to it.
casting gigs for. So he casted. Well, I hit my microphone. He casted the Twitch Ottawa event,
Mm-hmm.
and he did some of the production. So the last one, which was in October, he was a caster. So he was hosting the event and doing all the interviews. And then the one before that, he was doing the production work for it. And that experience gave him a shot to do some casting for Northern Arena, which is a Canadian-owned and operated esports league or esports event management company, similar to DreamHack, but they do just esports events. So they'll have, let's say, a Counter-Strike tournament, and it's all broadcasted. It's live and it's broadcasted as well. Or they'll have a Tekken tournament as well, or they'll have like CWL contracts, so Call of Duty tournaments and stuff like that with pro players. But it's just the event itself. And he was casting for Rainbow Six for the last 5 weeks as a stand-in,
Nice.
and they just renewed his contract for season 3, which is the next season. And he just got a contract with ESL, which is a huge company. Obviously, you guys know ESL.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a substitute or replacement for the casters. So if a caster gets sick, or if a caster can't make it, or if their flight's delayed, then they'll call on
That's
him to be on
legit.
standby.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
But you got to grind, man. You got to grind. You got to do the small things here and there, and people will then notice that. And he'd end up doing something for the Canadian Nationals, and then now, boom, like it's all domino effects with this industry.
Yeah, for sure, man. Awesome. And so another thing is you guys recently got property for the team.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You gonna open a house?
Well, not a house. So the property.
2-bedroom house.
It's actually it's a 3-bedroom apartment. We just don't have a living room. So we're actually using a facility that's owned by one of the team co-owners. There's 4 of us, so it's owned by one of the team co-owners, and there's an entire section of it. It's kind of like a warehouse kind of thing, where it has an area where you can set up beds, but there's showers. There's a fully like full kitchen kind of thing. There's a lounge area, and there's a bunch of offices that we can turn into boot camp areas. I think I sent you a picture for it. Please don't post that yet because we're not too sure if that sponsor is going to pull through
Dude,
or not.
I'm posting it everywhere. You don't
But
even know.
it's a like, you know, an area set up with just a bunch of computers where the entire team can play together. Because even right now, the team, like the CSGO team that came out to us as a group, they all play from different parts of Canada, right?
Mhm.
So if we can get them in for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just to sit down and play together in person, because right now I'm going to be completely honest. Our issue right now is as soon as we lose 2 or 3 rounds back to back, the team chemistry dies. Everyone gets angry. Everyone gets frustrated at each other.
Right.
So if we can have them play together in one area and have them play against, I don't know, Luminosity, like an actual pro team, and have them get their asses handed to them and see how they react, that's the best thing possible. Because from that, we can see, okay, you know, Jason gets mad when this happens. Nathan gets mad when this happens. All right, whenever we have these telltale things, the coach that's on stage call a tactical timeout, take 1 minute, and tell everyone to chill the fuck out.
Right.
Because that's our issue right now. And we placed third at nationals this year at EGLX, and it was only because of that. It was silly mistakes back to back to back, and I can, you know, just like football, we pull the game film and I can show you exactly where the mistake was, and they can tell you exactly what the mistake was. It's just that their mindset wasn't there. They got frustrated instead of being calm, reserved, and focused. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why we got that bootcamp area, and that should be operational by, what is it today, the 7th?
Yeah.
We have people working on it. It should be operational in 10 days from the last time I talked to them this morning. Yeah, about the 17th. So next Saturday should be good to go.
That'd be awesome.
So the entire area should be good to go by then.
Nice, man. So that kind of, you actually segued it perfectly for me to go into EGLX. So that's where they actually competed?
Yeah, so they competed at DreamHack.
Okay.
At the BYOC tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And all of our teams, like our PUBG, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Fortnite teams, they all placed top threes in all those events, and that's pretty much how we were able to get that property. And at EGLX, we were actually invited. We were one of the invited teams because of our performance at DreamHack. So it was an all-inclusive paid trip to EGLX. So hotel, flight, food, everything like that was covered.
Damn.
Yeah. So we need to start learning how to pro game, dude. We in the wrong fucking business.
Yeah, right. The day I learned how to pro game is like, I don't have a good analogy for it, but I'd never be a pro gamer.
We're too old, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like I've noticed,
old, man. You're never too old. Come on.
No. Like this is the thing, man. Like I used to be pretty decent at video games.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I was. And
comes out.
I picked up Call of Duty Black Ops 4 recently. Dude,
terrible.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst at that game. I'm like, it has to be age. PC.
Oh, okay.
I just my reflexes have gone down. Like I can't play FPS in any competitive nature at all. I'm not good at it.
I used to be good at Counter-Strike, and then I got too frustrated, so I let it go for like a year or two, and now I'm trash.
That's how it is, dude.
That's how it happens. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's something we could look into.
Yeah,
Nathan,
right,
we
dude.
could find some game that's not FPS.
Yeah, as long as it's not FPS, I could probably pick it up. Other than fucking Rocket League, flying cars with soccer balls is not my thing.
Dude,
I'm so bad at that game.
Oh, it's so terrible.
It's the best.
No, it's a good game. I'm just terrible at it, man. I cannot.
Dude, same.
I see people do like these jump shots and triple flips or fucking loop deep. I don't know what the fuck you call them, but they do shot midair. I'm like, how? I can't even hit it on the ground.
Yeah, I can't even run into the ball.
I have 1,100 hours on Rocket League, and there's still a lot of shit that I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How is this pro guy doing this?
Oh, man.
So, but either way, I don't know. I enjoy watching Rocket League, but so all that stuff, like you guys have placed everything, you're getting a space. That's insane. Like, how do you actually set up? Because you're talking about playing someone like Luminosity, for example.
Yeah.
and getting their asses kicked. Is that something that you'd be able to like call the guy from Luminosity and be like, hey, you want to do a scrim real quick? Like, how do you set something like that up?
So right now, because our team is actually playing in the ESEA league, it's in the advanced league. Right now, we're playing with some of the farm teams of these bigger teams, and sometimes we actually play against some of the pro teams, just looking to do pickup games for, just to do scrims and stuff like that because they can't find a team to scrim with.
Yeah.
And we haven't actually gone through the logistics yet, but I'd look into contacting somebody from a pro team and saying, hey, this is our team. We're a Canadian-based team. We're amateur / semi-pro. We're looking to go pro. Would you guys mind scrimming with us? And it sounds so. It sounds as if they would say no. But when I worked events, when I worked with Northern Arena back in December of last year for the CWL finals that were in Montreal, everybody that showed up, even the teams that are scheduled to play against each other, they would walk into the scrim room. They'd be like, "Yo, scrim," and then you'd have like Face Sensor, his team, Next Threat back then. He'd be talking to Complexity saying, hey, like scrim, yeah, sure. Then they'd sit down and scrim, even though they're scheduled to play against each other in like half an hour.
Oh, that's crazy.
So the community is amazing for that, right? So I'm hoping that's the same way with the Counter-Strike, and we can get our team to scrim with some pro teams or other semi-pro teams that are a lot better than us, just because that's what we want to do with the boot camp area is have them play together and see how they get in person, because everybody feeds off each other's energy, right? So if I'm frustrated, Asen's gonna get agitated, and then Asen might get frustrated. If I'm hyped, like I'm propsing everybody, I'm dabbing everybody up, kind of saying like good job and like nice round, everyone's gonna be hyped up, and that momentum's gonna go forward, and that mentality is gonna go forward as well.
Yeah. Don't have Nathan's brother on the team.
Yeah, dude. Toxic AF, dude.
Note to yourself, don't have Nathan.
I don't know. I get pretty toxic
for
too.
Life.
Banned for life, dude. Rest in peace, Michael. Sorry.
Oh man,
did it to yourself.
That's good. But that's awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously I've seen Team Liveter before because of Jerry, and now you're a part of it. So I'll definitely be looking, for more Team Livid stuff coming up. But that's pretty insane how, last time we talked to you and you had done all this stuff in preparation, because we talked to you in like May. Yeah. So it was right when this stuff was kind of starting to happen. And now, we're in November and this much more has happened, and just where you're saying everything's going forward, like things are really happening, and it's showing all the work you put in to get to this point. It's just really inspiring for both of us. I mean, I know we've told you that before, but
thanks, guys. No, it's honestly the best feeling ever. Like hearing it from you guys, because man, I look up to your podcast, man. Come on now, like you guys are growing exponentially. Plus, I'm not going to name. I don't know if you want me to name who you guys had as guests, but you've had these huge guests. And I'm like, how? That's like, it's amazing. But I'm like, that's like, how'd you guys nail that? That's amazing. Like, that's awesome. You guys
I think we used your name.
We all, I have a saying that's it's, we all eat, right? If I'm doing well and you guys need my help, I'm going to help you. And it's, it's back and forth. Like if I'm doing shit at some point and you guys see me like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, I'm not doing so well. And you guys help me out. Like this industry, this is the reason why I love the gaming industry. Everybody helps each other out, even if you're competitors. Yeah. You don't want to see somebody else go under.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, I was kind of thinking about this when you were talking about scrimming with these like the top pro teams. When you guys are in a lower league below them, but it's kind of like that whenever we contact someone that's we think they will just shrug us off, like who the fuck are these guys with their 5,000 download podcast, who the hell are they? And then they're actually like really kind and really willing and really wanting to help us out, and it's just like it's awesome to see that kind of stuff in the community. So
I'm gonna be really Canadian for a minute. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. All right.
It's true. It's true.
No,
Is that a
100%, man.
hockey
Like,
reference?
honest to God, like if you don't go out there and say like, or ask the person, would you mind coming on my show? Or if you don't ask this company, would you mind, or would you be interested in sponsoring so and so? Like we have, so for Livid right now, we have some huge sponsors. We have Logitech, we have H4X, and Pulse Labs. Pulse Labs is a Canadian owned gaming chair company, but Logitech, huge company. H4X, another huge company. The only other team that they sponsor is Complexity, which is a pro team.
Nice.
You know,
Mhm.
and we just asked them. We were at DreamHack. We're like, hey, like, are you guys interested in sponsoring another team? And they're like, yeah, sure. 2 weeks later, contract. I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
sure.
what?
Wait, what?
You know, so you don't know unless you ask.
Right.
Yeah, I actually talked to the Pulse Labs guy. They had a rep at Soba a few months ago when I went and I talked to him.
How was it? How was it? I didn't ask you about that.
Soba was pretty good. I went with one of our APM streamers also lives in Seattle. We went together. So it was pretty fun. I talked to the Pulse Labs guy, and they talked to us like they were trying to figure out a way to sponsor a podcast.
Okay.
And they couldn't really find like they were interested, but like they couldn't really find a way to do it, especially since, you know, we talked to all of our streamers. Some of them were like, well, I mean, we already have chairs. Like, is that something that we'd have to switch our chairs, like the ones we're using? So it was just little things like that, but we decided to, you know, leave it as is for now. But
Pulse Labs, if you're
Labs
listening to this podcast, I can tell you exactly how to market it right now. Ready?
Hey, there you go, dude.
This podcast is brought to you by Pulse Labs.
Yeah, there you
Gaming redefined. Boom. That's it.
Yeah, dude.
That's it.
15-second ad, or like a 30-second ad of me telling everyone how comfortable
15
and great
seconds
your
or
chairs
more
are.
could save you 50. Oh, wait. What is it?
15% or more on car insurance?
I don't know, man.
All right, man. Well, I've had a ton of fun, Jason, once again. And I'm going to go ahead and ask you to be on a third podcast at some point in the future.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's always a
Continue
pleasure.
to see your success.
Thank you for having me on. And I definitely want to be back on another podcast. And next time I'm going to be asking the questions. I don't see where you guys are at.
Oh, shit.
okay.
Next podcast.
All right.
How about
All
that?
right. That
I'm
sounds
down.
good. Sounds good to me.
It'll be my debut as a host.
There we go. There we go. We can promote once you get the podcast up and running. We can definitely get that promoted up.
Oh,
So.
shit. That's true. I got to work on that.
But anyway, just to end everything, what are some plugs people can contact you at or see the stuff you're doing and everything?
So honestly, Twitter is the best way to get a hold of me. And on Twitter, you can see all my emails and all that kind of stuff. So at MasterSitak. And my email address for the team is mastersitak@livid.gg. My email address for work for WeHype is jason@wehype.it. And my email address for DreamHack is streamer@dhmtl.ca. I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for Team Livid, Logitech, H4X, and Pulse Labs. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for helping us get to where we are now.
There
it
you
is,
go.
boys.
Even with a kiss at the end. There it is.
And
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week.
goodbye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to coldonepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is @coldonepodcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify as well as most podcast apps in existence, but if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionspermitted.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM-sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink and drive.